Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 193. Tesla held their earnings call this week, and as expected, they were down on most counts, but we did still find a few new records in the earnings call. And we finally got a delivery date for the Cybertruck. And Lucid also shared their deliveries, but that was truly some bad numbers. And despite headlines about Tesla's shrinking market share in the US, they are still growing faster than any other can make EVs. And we see Tesla doing well on recalls, but Ford is still in big trouble with their qualities. And Motor Trend was out test driving the refreshed Model 3 and was very impressed. And Auto Trader was also out test driving the Plaid Model S with the track package and was lost for words.
I'm lost for words.
Yes, Tesla's lineup is just getting too good, according to these reviews. What will the haters now hate about? All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla held their Q3 earnings call revealing mixed outcomes, including some record figures and low numbers due to the Model 3 and Model Y line upgrade and the Cybertruck production ramp. Want to learn more about the earnings call? Check out the video I did this week about the earnings call, link down below, but here are some of all the highlights. Despite these challenges that Tesla is facing, Tesla managed to add about $3 billion to its financial reserves, showcasing impressive cost reduction measures with all the price cuts we have seen. The operating margins stood at 7.6%, although low compared to past figures, it still surpasses the margins of GM and Ford, for example. Tesla's automotive gross margins remains at an industry-leading 18.7%, significantly above GM's highest ever in their over 100-year history of 14%. Just to give a little context. And Tesla's energy business is seeing remarkable growth with 90% year-over-year increase in energy deployment, hitting 4 gigawatt hours of battery storage in the quarter, a new record for Tesla. So projected almost triple growth in 2023 with around 18 gigawatt hours deployed. The margin of the energy business now stands at 24.4%, contributing about $500 million in profit, constituting about 12% of Tesla's total profits, including service and others, thanks to the ongoing ramp of the Lathrop Megapack factory. And don't forget, we do also have one being constructed in China as well. And the Cybertruck is set for a delivery event of the 30th of November, so put that date in your calendar. With the pilot production capacity of 125,000 units, although profitability from this model is expected to take at least a year, as Elon said. Tesla's Shanghai production capacity has now surpassed 950,000 units, and the Model Y production over 250,000 units in Texas and over 375 units in Berlin. The Berlin factory, that is primarily focused on the Model Y ramp, is nearing Fremont's volume and cost levels, indicating very high efficiency. Tesla's total production capacity now stands at 2.35 million units. And Tesla showed us their ability to cut production cost by almost $2,000 per vehicle in just 1 year, reducing the cost of goods sold from just above $39,500 in Q4 of last year to $37,500 in Q3 of this year, showcasing their cost control expertise. And concerns about the global economy stability were voiced at the earnings call with a cautious approach towards the Giga Mexico factory full tilt operation. And Tesla now have $26.1 billion in the bank, so they are well positioned if the global economy should tank even more. So despite the challenges, Tesla continues to exhibit strong financial control, industry-leading margins, consistent positive cash flow, adding more funds to their war chest for the future endeavors, even amidst economy uncertainties. Tesla's year-to-date revenue is already about 88% of last year's total, indicating that the growth story continues. But Lucid finally came out with their delivery numbers, and it was worse than we thought, as they revealed the Q3 production and delivery numbers. I talked about it in the last news show how analysts were expecting Lucid to only deliver something like 1,601 units in Q3, but Lucid only delivered 1,457 units. And cumulatively, Lucid has delivered only 8,761 units. That is 8 quarters of production. To have something to compare to, Tesla sold about 39,100 units in their first 8 quarters of the Model S launch, which represents 3.5 times as many as Lucid's cumulative sales. As we can see on this chart, Lucid is by far the worst of all EV startups to ramp up its production and deliveries. And as AJ wrote on X, 38%, or more than 1 out of 3 Lucid vehicles ever made, sits somewhere idling, undelivered or unsold or otherwise. So it seems like Lucid only has a demand for about 1,500 cars a quarter, which means they will probably never become free cash flow positive if that's the case. And do you remember how Lucid CEO Peter said that the only company that experienced production hell was Tesla? Well, what the hell do you call what you are experiencing right now then? Delivery hell or demand hell? Or of course you need some production to actually be in production hell. So as this hardly qualifies as production, it's hard to be in production hell, right? Maybe that was what Peter meant. But Lucid will hold their earnings call on the 7th of November. Can't wait to hear their excuses for this. As Lucid CEO in late 2021 said to investors, the company is on track to achieve its production target of 20,000 vehicles in 2022 and 50,000 vehicles in 2023. And accumulated today, they have 8,761 units. Embarrassing. And year to date, Lucid has produced 6,037 vehicles. They are on track to miss their full year 2023 production forecast from 2021, just 2 years ago, by 85%. Yeah, there are probably quite a few angry investors out there that would like to have some answers. But how they could invest in this company in the first place is still beyond my understanding. But also remember, Lucid wants to build a new production facility in Saudi Arabia. But why? They can't even get their first one to real production level. It just doesn't make any sense. And with Peter, with his huge salary, actually the highest salary of any CEO in the world, with $379 million, well, Peter has been given about $43,000 in paycheck for every vehicle Lucid has ever sold in their existence. Of all the EV startups out there, Lucid is the one that has the most to explain. So it's going to be fun to hear the earnings call on the 7th of November. And we are seeing a lot of headlines with Tesla Lucid market share in the US. So let's just get this one straight. James shared a great chart of Tesla's market share in the US. As many mainstream media outlets like to point out, Tesla is at its all-time low in BEV market share in the US. Yes, as more comes into the market, Tesla's EV share will of course shrink. That is just called math. And Tesla's market share in the overall car market is of course rising. So it's not like Tesla is shrinking in sales as some might want it to look like. And we do see here on James' chart the absurd lead Tesla has in the US. As we say all the time, there is literally Tesla and then everyone else down there in the corner. Yes, so James was so nice to zoom in on the corner to show the competition. But just remember, Tesla is literally off the chart here. And James also made this little chart a bit later, writing, so far this year, Tesla has grown in the US EV sales by more than twice as many vehicles as the second place brand sold in total. And Reuters article's headline is, Tesla losing market share. This is just such BS from Reuters here, making some nice clickbait headlines, while Tesla is growing like nothing else out there. Sad to see mainstream media journalism is still so anti-Tesla after all that Tesla has achieved and are still achieving. Tesla grew with twice the amount of units than any other brand sold total. Let's say it one more time, all together now. there is no competition for Tesla in the US. None whatsoever. Tesla's lineup is just getting too good according to reviews. What will the haters now hate about? Motortrend took the new refreshed Model 3 out for a test drive and was very impressed with the car, the way it handled, the looks of it, the new refined interior. As they said, the company listened to the owner's feedback and fixed what needed fixing. So not really much left for the haters to talk negatively about this car, as it really seems like everyone that is out trying the new refreshed Model 3 is just very impressed, that being car wow, for the charts, motor trend, whatever.
This is also has some of the nicer steering out of all the electric cars I've driven. That's exactly what they did. They left the core thing alone and they made some of the pain points better. So color me impressed.
But Autotrader also took the Model S Plaid with the new track mode out on the racetrack, and the praises for this car was huge. He was even very impressed how this car handled in the corner, and it was a better drift car than the Porsche.
This is a Tesla built for the racetrack, and a Tesla that can do this. This is a Tesla that's interesting in the corners. Yeah, grip, you'd expect that. It's got track pack in the name. But sliding, drifting, having fun. Elon, I see you, respect. I was not expecting that. I mean, it's just staggering. It might actually be a better drift car than the Porsche, because look at that, you can send all the power to the rear, and it is supreme in that regard. You got the Porsche with its all-wheel drive system, sometimes wanting to pull power towards the front to pull you out of a slide to stop you from killing yourself. But with this, you are in control. It's a driver's car. It feels like a track car. It feels lighter than it really is.
Wow, a driver's car. But he was even lost for word on just how good this car was. I will leave a link to the whole video down below. You should definitely go check that whole video out, because Tesla is just no longer this badly built car that can only do a quick 0 to 60. Tesla is now something that really impressed the automotive world with the refined Model 3, the Plaid Model S with track mode. That might just be some of the most fun you can have on a racetrack. A driver's car. Boy, Tesla has truly come a long way. Not so much left for the haters to hate about. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. 7,500 Teslas was insured in China last week. So that means cumulatively, Tesla insured units in China for 2023 has now surpassed all of 2022. But the demand problem. And we saw the Cybertruck driving covered in bullet holes. Or actually not holes, as no one went through, as Elon explained later on X. We emptied an entire drum magazine of a Tommy gun into the driver door, Al Capone style. No bullets penetrated into the passenger compartment. Nice. Let's try to do that to a F-150 and see how tough build that truck actually is, compared to the Cybertruck, the beast over them all. And as I showed off in last week's news show, Sean Fain, while live streaming himself on Facebook, stood with the Eat the Rich t-shirt on after revelations that he is in the top 1 of earners. So guess he will be eating his own ass. But we have seen so many people from the UAW being guilty of corruption, so it hardly comes as a surprise. It is just a very corrupt organization. And as he said last week, workers at Tesla, Toyota and Honda and others are not the enemy. They are the UAW members of the future. I don't think so. I think the UAW bankrupting the old guys here will make sure nobody wants to get under the corrupt UAW umbrella. And GM said they will delay, they will retime its production of its electric pickup truck at its plant in Michigan, Orion Townsville, by a year, as the #1 US automaker grapples with flattening demand for electric vehicle. Ouch. And we did see just a few deliveries of the Silverado EV in Q3, but that is now being delayed as well, as the electric Silverado will now start production in late 2025, and the Cybertruck will start delivering within a month. And GM is pushing its EV out like 2 years, with their Ultimum platform that already today is inferior. But now their real pickup truck with the inferior technology will not come out before late 2025. Who is ever going to buy that car at that point in time? If they have a demand problem now with EVs growing 50%, how do you think that will look in 2 years' time with their outdated technology? And Ford is now cutting 700 jobs at their F-150 Lightning production facility, because as the UAW said in a memo that their sales of the Lightning have tanked. And as Ford said, it isn't related to the UAW strike at other factories. So this is solely because of either production problems with the Lightning or demand issue. Or maybe both. But demand issue seems strange, right? Not just because EV sales are up 50%, but as Ford proudly told us, they had 200,000 reservations of the Lightning. As Jim Farley said back in December of 2021, the F-150 Lightning orders was capped at 200,000. We had to stop taking reservations because we had so many. And now it seems the demand is gone. Maybe because of the big price hikes Ford did this year, but no matter what, this is not looking good for Ford. But I did make a whole video about this week, so if you want to learn more about how the legacy automakers are crumbling right now, check that one out, link down below. And Switzerland is about to legalize full self-driving. In the future, the Federal Council would like to allow driverless cars, which are controlled by external operators on all Swiss roads, even on highways. However, this is only on predetermined routes that must be approved by the authorities. But the Federal Council also wants to allow full self-driving cars without external control. After switching on the automotive system, the person driving the vehicle should be allowed to let go of the steering wheel and not constantly monitor the traffic and the vehicle. According to the Federal Council, the person in the car must be prepared to operate the vehicle themselves at any time. They are obligated to do so if the system asks them to do so, or if they themselves should have recognized that the system has reached its limits. Ultimately, the Federal Council will also like to allow automotive parking without the presence of a person driver in the vehicle, but only in clearly defined parking areas. The consultation on the regulation lasts until February the 2nd. So this is very nice to see some action toward this here in Europe, because I think when we have one nation taking it on, others will follow quickly. And the Environment Minister today backed the CO2 target for trucks proposed by the EU Commission. Manufacturers will have to cut the average emission of new freight trucks by 45% in 2030, 65% in 2035, and 90% in 2040. But Green Group Transport and Environment urged the European Parliament to increase the 2030 target so that the European truck makers are ready to compete with foreign rivals entering the EU market. Truck makers need a clear signal to go all in on zero-emission trucks and compete with Tesla and Chinese rivals. Yep, the Transport and Environment gets it. And Stockholm will ban diesel and gas-powered cars from driving downtime starting in 2025, so only in 1.5 years from now. Nice to see them follow Norway's footsteps, and Sweden has also seen BEVs become the dominating force in Sweden, as in August we could see that BEV taking the biggest share of the car market with 41%, and petrol, the second biggest, was 22.2%, and plug-in combined stood for 60% of the entire car market. And BMW finally joins the list of automakers that wants in on Tesla's North American charging standard. So that was 2 of the German automakers, but we are still missing the big boy, the Volkswagen Group, but it can hardly be long, as this will give them a big disadvantage in the US if they don't join. So it is just a matter of time, in my opinion. As we did also see Toyota and Lexus are joining the next as well. And Nicholas shared his little list of companies that have joined, and we are just missing Porsche, Lucid, Volkswagen Group and Stellantis. And the new study from S&P Global Mobility revealed that EV owners switched back to ICE vehicles had three classic arguments: pricing, infrastructure, and range anxiety. And the study suggests that about 50% go back to ICE vehicles, but not if they own a Tesla. And no surprise here, as with a Tesla, you get the infrastructure and have no range anxiety. So Tesla, the market leader, saw an EV loyalty of 76.7%. But the good thing in this study was that pretty much all brands were up in EV loyalty. But Tesla is really pushing the old favorites, as someone like Nissan Leaf owners who bought another EV. The most popular next purchase was a Tesla Model Y at 17.3%. So as we have been talking about before, many are willing to trade up to get a Tesla, and this is exactly what we are seeing here, because if you get a Tesla, you will get the full package, and that is why most people that get a Tesla don't go back to an ICE car. And if you want a cheap EV, well, here is one. Citroën has revealed their new EV, the EC3, with 199 miles of range, starting price at £23,000 or $24,322, with a 44 kilowatt-hour LFP battery, 100 kilowatt charging speed. Top speed is rated at 84 miles per hour. Citroën will offer an even cheaper battery option at a later date, with around 124 miles of range. Price for that version would kick off closer to £20,000. So yes, I know what you're thinking. Yes, I want an affordable EV, but I don't want a crappy car. And this is really where I think Tesla's next generation vehicle is going to come in and take the market by storm, as it will not come with these lousy specs like this one, but get close to the price of this one. But if you want a cheap EV, well, here you go. And we always hear about how bad Tesla's build quality is, but just look at how few recalls Tesla had to do this year compared to last year, and most of Tesla's recalls are just fixed with an over-the-air update. One implication of that is the cost to correct the problem is low, whereas most of Ford's recalls are not fixed with an over-the-air update. And just look at the amount of recalls Ford does. That is insane. Talk about bad build quality. In 2022, Ford recalled 7.5 million vehicles. That is more vehicles than Ford makes in a year. No wonder Jim Farley said last year, until we fix quality, nothing else matters. But it is still not looking too good for Ford. Almost 5 million cars has been recalled this year for Ford. Yeah, Ford still needs to fix quality. And Homer shared some pictures of something you can only do in your Tesla. While waiting, you can play General Theft Auto. Yeah, when it comes to entertainment in the car, the legacy automakers have a long way to go to catch up to Tesla. And the Volkswagen brand cost-cutting plan is running behind schedule. Report says key cost savings measures are now expected to be defined by the end year. Yeah, it's not as easy as Tesla makes it look like, right? Yes, they wanted to cut $10 billion in costs, but it seems they are delayed on that front. But no wonder, as the cost-cutting program does not really include updating their production line to more efficient one. So they are still taking 3 times as long to build an electric car than Tesla does, even though it was 2 years ago they had the crisis meeting within Volkswagen talking about how they could catch up to Tesla in production speed. They even invited Elon. But nothing has happened since. The Trinity platform, which might have been able to do so, has been delayed as well. So we will see if Volkswagen can find the 10 billion euros someplace else. And the new Model 3 refresh is now available to order in the UK and Ireland as well. Deliveries will start in January 2024. Very nice. But this will just be devastating for Volkswagen's ID3 sales, in my opinion. Tesla's starting price is £39,990, whereas the starting price for the ID3 is £37,255. Who will choose that one over the refreshed Model 3 with a screen in the back, ventilated seats, much more power and specs, and yeah, software that actually works? Volkswagen is in big trouble, in my opinion. And here are some job listings from Tesla. TeslaBot, 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 and TeslaBot. Yeah, that is quite normal for a car company, right? And the Prime Minister of Thailand is driving a Tesla even before he was appointed as Prime Minister. Great to see the Thai Prime Minister as a Tesla fan. And we got to see this great chart this week showing the US space program with or without SpaceX. Yeah, the US has so much to thank SpaceX for. And we saw the very cool Sentry mode of the Cybertruck this week. Just so much we don't know about this truck. Can't wait until the 30th of November. And AJ shared on X, one often overlooked advantage of electric vehicle is their potential to disrupt funding sources for conflicts, particularly in the region of the Middle East. And Elon replied, electric transportation and solar and wind electricity generation will have a tectonic effect on the geopolitical power balance. Yes, indeed. And the Model Y finished September as Europe's top seller, earning the honor for the 6th time in 9 months, despite sales being down 8.7% compared to the same month last year. But year to date, it is still leading the sales charts, up 125% compared to last year, and selling more units than the other small cars that cost about half the price, like the Dacia Sandero or the Renault Clio. Just very impressive. And Tesla showed off a demo of its full self-driving this week on X, showing just how far they have come with their 100% neural network. No geofencing, no LiDAR, no radar, no mapping, just pure vision. And Tesla wrote, via our unique fleet learning approach, we are able to collect anonymous data from our vehicles, meaning the neural net have learned from a few orders of magnitude more driving scenarios than the average human driver, including unusual and weird ones. I don't think people get this. The Tesla fleet learns from an order of magnitude more driving scenarios than you and I will ever get to experience. Of course, it will learn how to drive and become a much better driver than we are. And before we end up with a bit of fun, I just want to make a huge shout out to all the supporters of this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. Couldn't do it without you guys. Yes, thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And the Supporter of the Week winner t-shirt is still out of stock, so we will get back to that hopefully very soon. So let's end off with a bit of fun. After an earnings call that will be seen as bad for Tesla, even though they still added $3 billion to the bank account, let's go back to a tweet that good old Mark Spiegel made back in October 2017 about Tesla's financials. Tesla will never, ever, ever make money. Ever. Well, Mr. BS, never say never. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And don't forget, if you want to become an executive producer and get some news articles during the week, exclusive videos and early access to all my videos and access to all my research, charts and spreadsheet, head over to bestintesla.com and join with the members button. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.